start this here?
Pardon?
Did you start this center here? Or?
No, here in this building. It's since I've been here, but we're like 41 years old.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's been around for a long time.
Okay.
And I'll have mine. Like I've been
Yeah, she came to the picnic.
maybe 11 years.
Okay.
There's plenty of animals.
Oh, yeah, is that next? Oh, good for you.
Corey couldn't get in the bathroom.
I just heard Bill say
I love the little scarecrow. I might see her before you. If you see her there. Okay. I know. Hopefully they'll slip in like they usually do.
Yeah, I'm trying not to get hurt.
Try not to what? No, don't. It's never about you, you know? It's never about us.
Welcome. I was going to say welcome everyone, but I'm not sure where everyone is. Maybe they're decided to stay snug in their houses by their fireplaces, but welcome to our service this afternoon. Welcome to those who are watching online, and I'm happy to have everyone here. It is a little bit gloomy and damp today, but we're warm in here together. So let us sing our song together, our opening song. Corey has a new version. There was a sheet on your chair of words that you'll find, and I'll let him explain it to you.
Yeah, this is a little bit shorter, just for a more compact opening song for us to sing every Sunday. I can't take any real credit for it. Spirit, as always, led me to do what I do. Bringing it together so it's more of an us song, a we song instead of a me song, and some other little things. The melody's pretty much the same, so we can stand together and we'll sing it.
Your kingdom come,
Just notice your breath. And let's take our 3 deep fellowship breaths together with an audible ah on the out breath, and just let all of that tension release on that breath out. Breathing in. Breathe in. One more time. Let's bring our minds down into our hearts now and put our hand on our heart. Keep our attention on this very sacred space. Here in spiritual community, we co-create, learning to love, forgive, feel, and express appreciation. We journey together through this human experience, awakening to our true selves, knowing that we live, move, and have our being in the all-encompassing eternal oneness. A divine love that wells up within us, surrounds us, and moves through us into this world. And it is from this awareness that we see the reflection of pure love in everyone, and recognize this light energy responding to us in return through everyone. We share in the giving and receiving of open-hearted love with all beings. And we are so grateful for our fellowship community, for each and every being who shares their loving energy with us in so many ways. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you. And now we have some very special music. Anara Pearl and Austin Kaufman. Please give them a very warm welcome.
The first song we're going to be doing today is called daughter's named Nightbird. She was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer when she was only in her 20s, and later she auditioned for America's Got Talent, the show, and made it through into the show, but decided not to be on it because she needed to focus on her health, and she passed away a couple years later. And we're going to be covering the song she did to us.
And she has a quote you like to share.
My favorite quote and her most famous quote is, "You can't wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy." I moved to California in the summertime. I changed my thinking that it would change my mind. I thought that all the problems they would stay behind. I was a sick down but it just wasn't that time. Yeah. All day, all night, now I can't hide. Said I knew myself, but I guess I lied. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. If you're lost, we're all lost, and it's alright. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. If you're lost, we're all lost, and it's alright, it's alright. I wrote 100 pages, but I burned them all. Yeah, I burned them all. I blow through yellow lights and don't look back at all. I don't look back at all. Yeah, you can call me reckless, I'm a cannonball. I'm a cannonball. Don't know why you take the time, but big crowd when it falls. Oh dang, oh my, now I can't hide. Said I knew what I wanted, but I guess I lied. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. If you're lost, we're all lost, and it's alright. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. If you're lost, we're all lost, and it's alright, it's alright. Oh, it's alright. Oh, it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. Oh, it's alright. Oh, it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's been lost sometimes. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. If you're lost, we're all lost, and it's alright. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. If you're lost, we're all lost, and it's alright, it's alright. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright. Yeah. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. If you're lost, we're all lost, and it's alright.
Thank you. Thanks so much. I remembered her, and that was a beautiful song. Thank you. Just a quick reminder that in your packet there's a card. It's called a connection card, and on the back there's a place for you to write anybody that you would like to hold in prayer later on in the service. And as the basket comes around, you can just put that card right in the basket, and that person will be included. not only in the prayer today, but on our prayer team list that goes out each week to quite a few people. So now we are going to sing a song together again. It's one of our songs that Lucille composed during her School of Ministry term, and it's one of the first songs. It's on page 3. It's called "We Have the Power." It's after our. They correspond with our guiding principles. So please stand, turn to page 3, and we'll sing together.
Our thoughts have power, our words have power. The things we think and say create our state of mind. Imagination, what we envision, will tell the mastermind what we would like to find. We have the power, we have the wisdom, we have the senses that will help create the vision. Let's use our mind at full capacity to make our world a better place to be. Our thoughts have power, our words have power. The things we think and say create our state of mind. Imagination, what we envision, will tell the mastermind what we would like to find. We have the power, we have the wisdom, we have the senses that will help create the vision. Let's use our mind at full capacity to make our world a better place to be.
And let's stay standing and greet our neighbors.
Is that you with a pretty voice back there? Somebody harmonized it. It sounded lovely. Is that you?
I'm always looking to harmonize. Yeah.
Wow.
Good card,
You got to talk to them. You just talked to her last week, didn't you? Oh, well, I guess I heard you talking.
Indiana?
Right.
Been around a long time. My father, my grandfather.
I was told that they give her
That's the equivalent of the lights flickering at the theater. I'm very happy to introduce our speaker this afternoon, Brett Koon. He's been with us a number of times now, and everybody has just really enjoyed his messages. So please give him a warm welcome.
Okay, I'm on. Am I on? Hello? Everybody heard?
Not yet.
No? Okay. Are we back? Hello? Do I speak in here and here? Because
Yeah.
one. I know I am.
No, why not?
I've only done this 9 times before. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Good? Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm official. I'm up here. I guess I better say something wise or something like that. Nice to see everybody this morning. Thank you, Corey. Always love your music, and you guys are phenomenal. I wish I could take you with me there. The title of the talk today is Healthy Manifestation. And I think all of us, are, of course, wanting to create, for one thing, happiness. I think that's the common thread that we all have that we're looking for, no matter what you go searching for, whether it's more money, the right job, health, politics, whatever. Everybody looks from very different angles, but ultimately, we all just want to be happy. I recently was looking at one of my emails, and there was an invitation from a guy, Steve Harrison was his name, and he helps people write books. And I've been thinking about a book for a while, and so he also had Jack Canfield on there with him, and if you're familiar with Jack Canfield, he wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul, along with 46 other books, and has sold almost 600 million books in the world. So arguably one of the best authors that there ever has been. So I signed up for just a $10 workshop. It was about an hour and a half long. And I thought, there's some really just wonderful ideas in here. Because I came to a place, I'm going to actually do a little backstory and then I'll come back to that. I appreciated, Anara, you said your favorite quote from her was, I'm going to paraphrase, it's not going to be the same, but to stop waiting for happiness to show up, that we have to find it now. And so I was noticing how I had been waiting so long to awaken to the truth of who I am. And my teacher said, when you wake up to who you really are, all your health falls in line because you're no longer thinking thoughts that are contrary to your physical, mental, and emotional health and your spiritual health. So I had that awareness, and then I also had the awareness of how I've been waiting to wake up to realize who I am so that money would take care of us, my wife and I. And for a long time, my mantra has been, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all else shall be added unto you. That was just my mantra. I'm like, I'm just going to live my life the best I can spiritually and trust that everything will be taken care of. Meanwhile, Laura and I have watched a lot of friends make a lot of money, go on very nice trips, and we actually did our first trip to Myrtle Beach recently because I asked my wife where she wanted to go, and she said Myrtle Beach, and we were planning it for the end of July, and I said, you realize it's going to be really hot there, right? You know? And she said, I know, I just want to be on the ocean. I said, okay, fair enough. Because we had never gone on a trip, just her and I, without our son, who was 25 years old. So it was always with him. So we did that, but we were really just feeling like, hey, look, we're spending far more money than what we're bringing in. You know, what are we doing wrong? And I realized it was one of these things, I don't want to wait anymore. If God wanted me to wait, then I don't know, it was a messed up philosophy because I was not taking action now in some way to manifest what needs to happen for us and my family to be taken care of financially. And I like to be generous with my money as well. So we had just these thoughts going on, and so I thought, okay, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to look for a job because financially we're just not doing as well as we'd like. So I go out there, and I used to do delivery for a catering company. I did catering for 18 years, and I loved the job because I got to drive around. I drove about 40,000 miles a year. So it was just quiet time with God and myself in the van when I was driving, just the two of us. And in fact, my boss wanted to borrow the van, and he came back and he said, why don't you tell me the radio wasn't working? I go, I didn't know it wasn't, you know. And so, in any case, it was just silence during that time, and I really enjoyed it. So I thought, okay, let me go check with a guy who used to work at Whole Foods. He started his own company, see if he needs some help doing deliveries, you know. And he said, well, it would only be 1 day a week. It would only be after the first of the year. I said, okay. So I put my first feeler out, my first intention out. And I thought, okay, I'll look for something else. Just from doing that, taking that step forward, within 3 days I had 3 new calls for 3 new talks. And it just happened that quickly. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to also go for doing this whole book signing. So I take this workshop. It was only about an hour and a half for the day. And Jack Canfield's one of the people. I'm sure, I don't know, there's probably hundreds of people online watching this whole thing, and it sounded really interesting. You know, Jack Canfield interviews you for 3 minutes. You get to take that and put it on your website. You know, wow, an interview with Jack Canfield, that's got to be good. And he helps you actually write, you know, make sure you got structure to your book, market your book for 6 months. So all of it sounded good until I found out it was $12,000. Then it didn't sound that good. Like, no, this is a terrible workshop. But no, actually, I even said, all right, God, I don't want to play small. I'm ready to put myself out there in a bigger way. I'm ready to speak to bigger crowds and just, you know, so in case I had this conversation internally and I shifted and I let it go, I go, I'm going to come up with the 12,000. We're going to do this thing, you know. Meanwhile, I'm recognizing I also have to talk to my wife about it, who might feel differently than I do. So I had already processed my fears around this, and then I tell her, well, she was gone when I did the workshop, so she came back and said, well, how'd it go? And I said, well, it went really well, and I started telling her about it. She knows there's something coming, right? She knows there's something coming. And so I end up telling her that it was $12,000, and she said, oh no, that's not happening. You know, and so I said I was a little feisty with it because I was ready for something new. I was ready to, like I said, put myself out there in a bigger way. And so I said to her, I said, okay, whatever you feel, your feelings are valid, and you get to have your feelings and your experience with this. I said, but the one thing we're not going to do is we're not going to have this conversation out of fear. So your homework is, and my homework is, to see what our fears are that are standing in the way of making a healthy decision. She was really angry with me. She was really angry with me, and she went up to our bedroom and stayed there until the next day, and I thought, I better sleep in the other bed tonight. So I did. I slept in our meditation room. We had a day bed in there. And I was good. I understand this is what she needed to go through. And it's like, okay, this is all fine. So the next morning, I say to her, how are you doing? And she said, I'm doing okay. And she had a little bit of a smile, said, okay, there's some progress that has been made. But then she went about, did her thing without any communication for quite some time that day, until she came back down and she said, we need to talk. And I said, okay, I've heard that before, you know. And so she was really expressing from a place of anger and frustration, like, how could I be so irresponsible for making such a decision? We went through bankruptcy, which quite frankly was really my fault because of a messed up philosophy. It'll unfold the way it needs to. It will happen. Trust. It'll all work out, which is fine. There's a point in time for trust and faith, absolutely. But this was not the time. We had played this game for a long time, and she was angry because of it. She did not want to go backwards, and I didn't either. So I listened to her for a while, and I just find sometimes when you just hold the space for somebody to share how they really feel, the energy continued to dissipate more and more. And she said, you talk about how irresponsible I was. And so I let her say her piece, and I say, okay, are you finished? And she said, yes. I said, I wasn't doing it from a perspective of not being responsible. I was doing it from a perspective of not playing small. I saw my fears of what $12,000 would mean to us, and I didn't want to leave it there. I thought, what blocks me from taking it to the next step? So for me, it was an excitement and an opportunity to go to another level. And she couldn't hear it at first, but then as it kind of sunk in and she continued to express how she was feeling, then we finished the conversation. It was a very good conversation. She goes upstairs for a while again. She comes back down. She said, I understand where you're coming from. And there was this really beautiful moment where we really worked through some things as a couple, to just be honest with each other and not shy away from what we were afraid of. And so she said, I love your ideas and what you want to do, but I think we can find it cheaper. And she found a workshop that was $197 and spent more time. And this person had also worked with some well-known authors. So she did her due diligence. And so she presented that to me. Meanwhile, I was really getting more clear. I had a dream and some other intuitions by Spirit. And I'm hearing Spirit say, basically, you're in your head and not your heart. You're making a decision from your head. And I knew that was true. It's like, it was a great idea. Wow, I'll become an author. Then it's kind of like, as they said on the Jack Canfield workshop, they said it's kind of like a book is your brochure for your business. It offers credibility. Doesn't mean I know anything more than before I wrote the book. But for some reason, I think we all know that, this person's an author, they must be an expert on it. So, in any case, I was listening to Spirit, and I thought, I am coming from my head. I'm coming from my head. It sounds like a good idea, and it sounds like it would be nice to expand my business. But why am I expanding my business? Am I expanding my business to awaken to who I am, or is it just about making some money to get by and do what I want to do? And I knew what the answer was. It was making money so we can go on trips and stuff like that. By the way, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have any judgments about that. But I knew for me, my most important part of my life is waking up and living as the truth of who I am. That is by far the primary goal. Anything shy of that is not satisfactory to me. And so this wasn't. And I acknowledge, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I need to listen to Laura. I need to listen to Spirit on this. This is just, it's not right. And I told my wife this, and she said, I agree with that. It feels right. It seemed like you were coming some from your head. And she didn't have any judgment at this point. She let it all go. But then she said, your meditation class at the Oxford Library. By the way, Oxford, if you will recall, went through a shooting at their high school maybe 3 years or so ago. And so this town was really ripped their hearts out. It really was gut-wrenching. I had done a presentation at the Oxford Library on meditation, and they hired me to do a 4-week class. And these people, there was like about 25 people that showed up, and it was just absolutely beautiful of how people were just so ready. I was very moved of how they were engaged, and they wanted to dive deeper into this place called peace that wasn't familiar to them these days. And so I did my 3rd class last Monday out of a 4-week class, or 4-session class, it's every other week. And at the end of it, they said, how do we keep this going? You know, there's got to be a way. You know, we need this. We love this. This is beautiful. This is what we want, you know. And I said, let me do something. Maybe I'll create a 1-day retreat. So I'm trying to create a 1-day retreat, and it just wasn't flowing. There wasn't dates available. It was just pricier than I wanted it to be. So Laura had said to me at one point in time, call the library up and see if you can just rent the space there and just do a retreat for the people. And I said, okay, you know, that sounds like a good idea. So I called her up, and she said, no, if it's a nonprofit, we can do a retreat, but other than that, we cannot. And so we hang up the phone, or I asked her what's some places in Oxford, and she gave me some names and stuff. So I started making some calls. Meanwhile, she called me back, and she said, I talked to my boss. We want to hire you for 6 more weeks. And they paid me very well for being there. And so she said, I see that the people are really wanting this. And so it really was just this beautiful process of just getting clear, look, God, I've not been doing a good job of taking care of us financially. We've been spending more than we've been making. I'm ready to work and do whatever I need to do. And I'm ready to, do my homework and clear out that which stands in the way. So it was this beautiful unfolding of just God giving me and us exactly what we needed to move through so that we could open further doors and manifest what we really want to manifest. Now, I want to, I want to read something by Eckhart Tolle that I think is wonderful. And he said, anything that you could obtain in life on a personal level, whatever you manifest, is the icing on the cake, because you already have the cake. You are the cake, in parentheses, laughing. If you don't realize that, then life is frustrating, because whatever you manifest, if you think that's the cake, it's not going to satisfy you for long. It might even make you sick if you eat too much cake. Again, laughter. The true, healthful cake is the essence of who you are, intense, alive. That's the fullness of life. You can only be successful at manifesting if you don't need whatever it is that you want to manifest in order to give you the experiencing of having made it. A fuller sense of identity. So it's like, I got what I needed, I made it. No, that's just more ego identity with a false self. People don't want the thing that they think they want. They want the feeling that thing will give them. You don't want the car just for the sake of the car. You want the feeling that is associated with the car. The car itself is meaningless. People want this fullness of life through something else. You are already the fullness of life itself, the unconditioned consciousness. Jesus said, find the kingdom of heaven within you, and all things that you think you need will be added unto you. All things you think you need, which is what I was saying earlier. Ultimately, you are not dependent on external conditions. You are not at the mercy of what's happening or not happening around you. This is a wonderful realization, a wonderful freedom. So, look, we all, you know, when The Secret came out, everybody wanted to get the book so that they can manifest all these material things, all this money. That's where everybody went with the whole thing. It wasn't that the book was bad or wrong. It was beautiful, but it maybe fell short in helping people to understand what is it that you truly want inside yourself. So really what Eckhart Tolle is saying, he's saying that check in. Why do you want this? Like for me, writing a book, it wasn't the right motive. It was about, you know, being successful, getting money for material needs. It was something that wasn't really in alignment with my path, which is simply, I have my one goal, is just simply to fully realize the truth of who I am. When you come from a healthy perspective, then it manifests very easily. My wife and I were in Southampton, where my mom used to live, and we were driving around, and she said, "This is so vacation-y, I love it." She said, "I can't believe you don't get vacation through work. You know, even though you're a contract employee, you spend as much time there as anyone else." And I said, "Well, you're right." And it was just so clear on me. I'll talk to him on Monday. I knew it was going to happen. There wasn't any question in my mind it was going to happen. And I went in there, and he did take a little time to think about it, and he said, "I'll give you 2 weeks, you're right." It's very easy to manifest, but I will say this, before you go practicing what it is you really want, get clear on the why. Why is it that I want this? Is it to build my ego identity so people like me more, or I'm successful, or whatever the stories that we feed ourselves? Or is it something that's in alignment with the truth of who you are? Just be clear on that. And I would also offer, when you're focusing on creating something in your life, just do one thing. Just do one thing, because the problem is a lot of times, and this is why our prayers aren't answered, by the way, a lot of times, is because one prayer is contrary to a lot of the other things that we're wanting in our life. And we might have certain stories that are going on. If I had this whole abundance thing or book thing going on with too many other things, it can get very confusing on what the truth really is. So if you're manifesting, just pick one thing, focus on that, and when you've created that in your life, then move on to something else. But I'm going to leave you with this. Manifesting, to me, I don't know that there's really so many goals that we need. I'm not judging them. You're welcome to create anything you want out of your life. But really, for me, it's like there's no greater gift than to say, "All right, God," or whoever your go-to is, Buddha, Jesus, doesn't matter, life. I truly want to be in joy. Not a fleeting joy. Not something that is external and conditional, but rather something that touches my soul, and that there's something that will never, ever leave me. That eternal joy, that eternal peace that we truly are. So you can manifest a lot of things, but there will come a time on your path, this lifetime or 10 lifetimes from now, I don't care, doesn't matter. There will be a time on your path that you say, "Okay, I don't need anything outside of myself. All I truly need is to discover the truth of who I am, and to know that that is everything I've ever been looking for. And I can promise you, you are that. And the more you let go of this body-mind identification, this ego self, you'll see that for yourself, like the truth, the peace, the joy, the love, God have always, always been here. I just simply wasn't able to see it because I was focused on other things." Thank you so much. And I guess, do I go right into meditation? I always forget about this part here. Yeah, okay. So let's meditate on this for a moment. So, if you haven't already, just got yourself comfortable. And I just invite you to close your eyes. Just really allow yourself to surrender into this very moment. Which really means to melt into it. Just allow the floor to support you, the chair to support you. And if you have a go-to, a spiritual go-to, you're welcome to give this whole meditation over to them. And can you just allow yourself to be nurtured and loved right now in this moment? What if you have everything you need to experience the peace and the joy of who you are right now? I know the mind might have something to say about that. I need to accomplish this first, then I'll do it. But I'm asking you, I'm inviting you to let go of all those things that say, when this happens, then I'll be happy. And just for this moment, just for this short little time, I'm also inviting you to simply allow the world to be okay without you. I hope you feel a sense of relief for that. Because we're so busy always trying to fix ourselves, fix others, fix the world. But right now, what if, just for this moment, there's nothing to fix? There's nothing to fix. There's no one to save. You don't need to save the world. What if everything is unfolding exactly as it needs to? And so, just letting yourself off the hook for things that you have judged yourself for doing bad or wrong. It's okay. We're all human. We've all put our best foot forward. It's okay. Truly, just let yourself off the hook. And let go of the worries, of fears that might happen. We have a lot of fears these days about so many things. It's okay, but you don't need to carry that. And the more you can just experience that right now in this moment, perhaps you can see that this peace that's here right now is always here. And so this day I offer to you, as you go out into the world, maybe ask God, what would you have me manifest? Or maybe even say to God, I only want to manifest that which you would have me do. What a beautiful, pure way of creating what's needed in your life, what's most needed. You truly are everything you've been looking for. So I invite you to let go of all the thoughts, all the beliefs and opinions that would have you believe other than that truth. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you. That was a wonderful message. And wonderful reminders. This is the time in our service when we pause and fill our hearts with love and gratitude for all the blessings and gifts in our lives. It's a time to bring ourselves into a consciousness of abundance. So as John comes around with the basket, remember to put your prayer card in the basket as well. finding that abundance all around us in every day of our lives. It's there for us to see and there for us to find. And we'll sing, I am grateful. This is a wonderful affirmation. The light of divine love shines eternally, blessing and multiplying our tithes and offerings. I joyously give, knowing I always have enough to share and to spare. Thank you so much for your generous donations. And now let's just take another moment and go within. Close your eyes and bring our hearts to that sacred place of love, and let's wrap all those named in this basket today in that pure light and love. Affirming that they will find their way to all that they need. Health, clarity, resolution, safety, abundance, anything that they need, they too have the ability to manifest. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you so much. We have another song from Anara Pearl and Austin Kaufman.
Super reminder, thank you for the message today. The song for play. This next song is one that Anara actually co-wrote with a group of people at a songwriting workshop, and
I co-wrote this with the artist Kashimana. She opened a songwriting workshop the day before Pump Stop this year at the East Lansing Public Library, and me and one of my friends and a bunch of other people attended, and this is the song we wrote together.
I think it fits. It's very positive thinking. If your head's in the right space, there's always more.
Let's go! Game on, play on, let's go. There's always
Well, it was a lovely service today, and I want to thank all of you for being here today and joining us in this Sunday afternoon service. It's important to us all, each and every one of you, make the services possible in so many ways. But I also want to thank Corey. Thank you so much for the new song, or the rework of it. And beyond your amazing talent, I want to thank you just for all of the care and attention that you give the fellowship. Thank you so much. And thank you, Amara, Pearl, and Austin Kaufman. Beautiful, beautiful songs. We love to have you. And thank you so much. And thank you, Brett, for being here and for your just honest and vulnerable expressions of how your life is unfolding. It's wonderful for us all to hear, and we can all relate to it. So thank you. So I just have a few announcements. Not a big list today. Monthly Deaf Cafe is coming up this Saturday, October 19th at 2 p.m. here in this building. And then please put on your calendar our Harvest Fundraiser Dinner, Saturday, October 26th, 4:30 p.m. here in the building. Also, Healing Movements every Monday at 4, and Chair Yoga every Thursday at 4, also here in the building. And remember to take a look at Barb Kinsey's Healthy Living videos. She's still putting those in our e-announcements every week, and they're really good and really helpful. So take a look. You might learn something wonderful that will help you health-wise.
I found Swami Beyondananda again, so you're going to be hearing a lot from him.
Okay.
So he's fun.
Thank you so much, Barb. So thanks again, and let us get into our peace circle and say our closing blessing for today. Gonna be a little one. Do you mind if I share words with you after the service? Of course. Is that okay? Yeah.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us didn't even feel, I didn't even feel anything from you that was defensive.
I did. Because I'm obviously searching and seeking and not completely comfortable with where I've been or where I'm at.
Yeah,
But I appreciate my staff members. This is wonderful, and I want to be able to come back, and I will be able to feel like I can do that if I don't clear the air a little bit. So,
well, thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. But we're happy to have you.
oh well,
We are
good.
so happy to have you. And this will not meet a group of people that are more loving and more non-judgmental and non-critical. It's just the sweetest group of people. It can be small, like it is today. But, you know, sometimes we get up to 30 and we have people online as well.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah,
It's wonderful.
yeah, so we just keep moving along. We're in our 41st year.
Are you really?
Yes, we've been in Lansing here for 41 years. And we just keep moving. Keep moving ahead. But very happy. I just, it's such a sweet, loving that
Oh, underneath it all, somewhere maybe.
of course it is. Of course it is. But I hope you did enjoy it. And I did. We have different speakers each week. And they have different music. It's wonderful, wonderful music.
No, I'm over in Royal. And I speak at St. Paul Grand Rapids. Community college, and I actually go to numbers here.
So the message is good, and, you know, and that's what the person is trying to
Interface center, spiritual growth.
There's no agenda, really, you know. I thought it was just me. So what do you think? Well, I would rather people just speak about what you're inspired by.
It was perfect today. It really did.
Yeah, I know, usually, I think
Yeah,
usually you
you could find something in there. Of course, you know, yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And I will definitely.
yeah, he's building up a lot of opportunity before Reverend Mike came to Grand Rapids, you know. But it's, yeah, it's same thing with Livonia.
We got off to a little bit of a muddly start, but it came around.
You too. Corey, it's always good.
You did it again, man. You did it again. You always invest yourself every single time, and you're always getting me right from where I need to be. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm still.